All right, guys. Today we're going to be reacting to the six-part series of the building a house in German style. We're going to be reacting to this. Thank you so much for the reaction, for the recommendation. Again, like you guys can see, we have a lovely view in the outside here in my apartment. Very good weather. Today was 55 to 60 degrees, and then it's going to drop to 25 degrees Fahrenheit. It is what it is. Either way, make sure you like to subscribe. Links in the description for the Discord. Let's jump in. Also, guys, just give me some review of, or let me know how does this microphone sound.
The roofers had already applied
go.
bitumen membranes to the floor slab as a moisture barrier. A vapor barrier made of PE film came over it, and now the thermal insulation of the floor slab comes with highly insulating EPS sheets. It is important that they lie flat. For the cables, there must be slots in the plates. A little trick helps. Tread carefully, and at the pressure points the fitter sees exactly where he has to insert the slots.
Yeah, again, he's one of those individuals that has been doing this for so many years. Man.
By the way, the black pipes that run through the room here are the inlet and outlet from the heat pump to the earth collector behind the house. My habit is used to fill in the gaps here. An insulation fill made of hemp chips with bitumen film, which solidifies under load to form stable insulation.
Important.
Finally, there is a second layer of insulation boards on top, so that the thickness of the insulation layer is approximately 10 centimeters at the end.
Nice job.
In
nice
this
job.
way, the floor slab is also insulated in all other rooms.
Probably a couple days, huh?
Now it can start with the underfloor heating. First, put edge insulation strips. It separates masonry from the screed. Because of different temperature conditions, the screed expands or contracts. Therefore, the screed, as it is said, must be installed floating. Without
look at that
direct
hammer.
connection
Is that a hammer?
to the masonry, the insulation strip ensures that. Next step, lay out the carrier plates. They carry the heating pipes and have another 20 millimeters thick insulation layer. It ensures that the heat radiates above all into the room and does not escape into the floor. The heating pipe is a PE pipe with increased temperature resistance and is first of all connected to the heating circuit distributor. There are two variants for laying in the room: meandering or helical. With the helical shape, as here, the heat is distributed very evenly over the floor, because the flow and return are always next to each other. The markings on the carrier plate help to keep the distances correctly. Arrived in the middle, it gets back now in the opposite direction for the return. The pipe end comes back to the heating circuit distributor. So the cycle is closed. Flow, red, below. Return, blue, at the top.
And that has to be tight, though. Yeah, that has to be tight, because as soon as they cover this area, that's it. That's it. That is interesting,
Now
huh?
staple the last pipe in. Finished. The heating is installed in the first room, here the kitchen. The same went on in the other rooms. One heating circuit per room and one heating circuit distributor per floor. A total of 700 meters of heating pipe was installed in the single-family house and more than 3,000 tacker staples were fired. Underfloor heating installation, 5 days.
Okay.
Now the screed can come. Gravel is supplied for this. Getting to the property is not that easy.
Oh no, man.
A very close affair.
Oh my God, that alone can take at least 3 hours. My God, because that's very tight, man. Yeah.
There is not enough space to maneuver on the road, and the scaffolding is in the way.
Oh my
The only
God,
help,
that's tight.
always forward, back, and try again. The driver's pulse goes up. But turbo does it. Millimeter work. After half an hour the time has finally come. 20 tons of gravel are ready. Together with water, cement and additives, it is processed into cement screed and then pumped into the house. But before that,
Did they
the
use
screed
gravel?
builders
I didn't see it. They use sand. I know they use sand. Well, how big is the gravel? Oh.
Together with water, cement and additives, it is processed into
Yeah, I
cement
don't think they use
screed
gravel.
and then pumped into the house.
I didn't see the gravel.
But before that, the screed builders add wall markings, exactly 1 meter above the current ground level. From the difference you can later see which screed height you have already reached. It should be 6.5 centimeters. And let's go. Spread the screed evenly. Check the height. And smooth the screed and balance it. And so on, room by room.
Yep. It's a lot of work, man.
The
Yep.
screed builders each place an expansion joint on the doors using insulation strips. So, the screed is divided into individual screed fields. Per room, 1 screed field. So, tensions in the screed due to different room temperatures are avoided.
Oh, really?
Working on freestanding edges is a little difficult. Like here on the stairs. For a straight degree, a second colleague must cover the edge.
This is the
Once
part that I wanted to
screed
see.
has been laid, it is finally processed with a smoothing machine.
I was
In this way,
you know what's
the
crazy?
screed
I
is-
was about to say like what he's gonna do because he needs to put some kind of plane something because the shoes you don't want to go down because you're your weight. And he has those weird shoes. So that's interesting.
Perfectly smooth and compacted at the same time.
They do the same
Once
thing in the
upper
other room.
floor is ready, the ground floor continues.
It's a lot of work, man. My God. But it's nice. It's so nice. Ha!
The corridor last.
Wow, right?
Finished. Now no one is allowed to enter the house for at least 3 days. But even after that, the floor can only be loaded after about 4 weeks. In
Wow.
the meantime, the builders have to ventilate. The screed has to dry. Important here, no permanent ventilation, otherwise the screed dries too quickly and could form cracks. Instead, pulse ventilation, 10 minutes, 3 times a day, first on one side, then on the other side of the house. This avoids drafts that would also dry out the screed too quickly.
Huh, they didn't know that.
As a builder you have to organize yourself here. Drive to the house several times a day. Not so easy. How did it go with the Bloodhouse?
We were lucky because we have a small child, parental leave,
Ah.
and this is exactly in the phase in which the screed was poured and the ventilation, so it worked well.
Or Tobias, do you fake being sick?
No, of course not. I now have 2 months of vacation and we also have nice neighbors who also come over for a
2 months
short time to ventilate when we shouldn't be there.
And this is what the screed looks like after exactly
Wow.
26 days. The surface is
beautiful,
hardened,
right?
smooth and even everywhere without
Smooth,
cracking.
smooth. You feel with confidence.
The expansion joints can be easily recognized at the room transitions. Only the places for the walk-in shower trays in the bathroom and toilet were left out of the screed. The tilers later set the shower trays. However, the screed has not yet completely set. Now is the time for part 2 of the drying phase. Heating up the underfloor heating. A mobile electric heating boiler was used for this. The heating system was filled with water, the electric heater connected and the special heating program started.
Heisen.
The system heats up to around 20 degrees Celsius for the first few days, then a few more degrees every day, up to 50 degrees Celsius. The heating then runs at this temperature for several days so that the screed can expand completely once.
Oh, okay. And then
After
goes
that,
down.
The temperature drops again by a few degrees every day. It takes almost 4 weeks to heat up.
Wow.
While the screed is drying,
That's
the
a
top
beautiful
render film,
house. That is a beautiful house. It does have presence. It's well established. Beautiful
finishing coat
house.
was applied on the outside. Mineral and open to diffusion with a 2 mm grain, which gives the render an interesting, structured surface.
Sehr, sehr schön. Wir sind sehr zufrieden. Wir haben die
Very,
Farbe-
very nice. We are very satisfied. We have the color papaya yellow and we have even been told by the neighbors that our house shines like the sun. So everything was done correctly.
Wow.
The house looks different again, more inviting, bigger.
Also noticeable in the street, you have a couple of older houses here.
It's an eye catcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, you're right. It just stand out by itself. It's very
In
nice.
the end, a leveling coat was applied to the render as color protection against possible staining or color differences in the tying process. Important for a uniform color design. The scaffolding is also gone and the house can now unfold optically. It continues with the water connection. Today the house is connected to the public drinking water network. This is the responsibility of the municipal water companies, who also install the water meter. Since there is already a house on the property, you must cut the existing
So there's
line
another
and
house
interpose-
behind that house. Right? Here, there's another house behind that house. Huh.
the Bloodhouse house.
Kinda
The
uncomfortable,
water
right?
then runs in a loop through a pipe into the Blotto house, out through the other and then further into the other house,
Okay, now they're checking. Okay.
so that the hose couplings later fit tightly. The fitter rotates one phase, a taper on the lines. However, there is a problem first. The water should have been turned off long ago.
The problem is that we have a different valve outside, which is a bit older and doesn't close 100% anymore. There is a stamp in it, you drive it down a rod, onto the main pipe and then it should be tight. But after a few years, deposits such as iron manganese accumulate and as a result, it no longer closes 100%
Yeah.
and then water comes like this. It's usually tight.
Hmm.
But, not so bad. Then only the dry return side is connected. And when everything is tight in the house, the dripping supply line can also be connected.
That's very, yeah.
It continues in the utility room. On the two lines, inlet and outlet, there is a wall sleeve for protection.
Drinking water sometimes has such blows and then the pipe moves and rubs and then it can slip through and we have a pipe break and this prevents this wall sleeve.
Now the fitting in which the water meter will be installed later. At the same time, it also connects the forward and reverse, the loop, together again. Important, spray disinfectant. This will kill any germs on the pipes.
Yep. Important. That's so important. I was about to say the same. I was thinking about that. I mean, I was like, how do you clean the germs and bacteria accumulated in that area? There you go. You just answer it.
Done. The connections.
What the hell is that, man? What is that? The red
fitters
thingy?
Can connect the supply line and turn on the water on the street side again.
Turn it on.
Before
And the
the
guy
water
has a hump in
connection
his
can
back,
go to
right?
the house network, it is necessary to rinse the pipes. Any contamination could damage the domestic water system and must be removed.
Very specific.
Now, install the water meter. Finally, the fitter checks whether everything is tight and seals the connection. Finished. The drinking water connection is established. From here, the water is later fed into the house network.
Wow. Wow. I'm very excited to see the rest. Now some of the questions were answered. I mean, the way they do the little thingy to just keep the floor nice and clean, very even. That's impressive. But more impressive is how everybody has their own time to just build their house. And I would like to know what is the time frame. It doesn't look like a lot. Probably a couple months. I would say 5 months to make, which is not bad. Very interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.